My dad slid the paper across the table and said, "We all agreed this is your responsibility. $30,000. I stared at the number, honestly thinking it had to be a joke. It wasn't. My mom sat there silently. My brother wouldn't even look at me. And my sister? She actually said, "You're the only one who can do this. Do this." Like handing over years of savings was some small favor. And the craziest part, they already acted like the money was theirs, like my answer had already been decided. But what they didn't know was that this was the moment I finally stopped being their safety net. Money had always worked differently in my family. Not equally, not fairly, strategically. Whoever struggled the most got everything. And somehow, that was never me, because I was the responsible one, the one who worked, planned, saved, which apparently meant I needed help the least. So while my siblings made reckless decisions, I cleaned up mine carefully. No vacations I couldn't afford, no random debt, no asking people to bail me out. And because of that, my family assumed I always had money available, not because I was rich, because I was careful. Big difference. So when my brother's business collapsed, I already knew how this would go. Bad investments, poor decisions, ignored warnings. Then suddenly, family needs to come together. Of course, we sat around my parents' dining table while my dad explained everything. Debt, loans, deadlines. Then came the number, $30,000. I blinked slowly. "And you expect me to pay this?" I asked. "Not all of it," my sister said quickly, then paused. "Well, most of it." I almost laughed, because the confidence, that's what got me. Like this was reasonable. "You're doing well," my mom added softly. Doing well, that phrase again, the one people use when they want access to what you built. "I worked for that money," I said. "And your brother worked hard too," my dad replied immediately. I looked at him, because now, we were pretending effort and consequences were the same thing. "He made mistakes," my dad added. "He just needs help getting back on his feet." Funny, because when I struggled years ago, no one offered me $30,000. No one even offered me a couch. I figured it out alone. And somehow, that became the expectation forever. "She's right," my sister added. "You're the only one who can fix this." That word, fix. I was always fixing something. Bills, problems, mistakes that weren't mine. And suddenly, I felt tired. Not angry, just done. Because for the first time, I realized something. If I said yes now, this would never end. There would always be another emergency, another bailout, another reason I had to sacrifice something so they didn't have to face consequences. I looked around the table, at all of them, waiting, expecting, counting on guilt to do the work for them. And quietly, I made my decision. I pushed a paper back across the table and said, "No." The entire room froze. Silence. Heavy. Immediate. My dad stared at me like he misheard. "What?" he asked. I said no. I repeated. Calm. Clear. My sister let out a nervous laugh. "Okay. Seriously." "I am serious." That's when the mood changed. Fast. My mom leaned forward. "You can't just let him fail." I looked at her. "He already failed," I said quietly. "Now he has to deal with it." My brother finally spoke. First time all night. "So that's it?" he snapped. "You're just going to sit there while my life falls apart?" I almost smiled. Because now, we were finally being honest. "My life fell apart too once," I said. Silence. "And none of you handed me $30,000. No response. Because they remembered. The apartment I lost. The second job I worked. The years I spent rebuilding alone. They remembered all of it. They just never expected me to bring it up. That was different," my dad said quickly. Of course it was. Because when I struggled, it built character. When he struggled, it became a family emergency. "You have the money," my sister said. That line again, like having something automatically, makes you responsible for everyone who doesn't. "I have savings," I corrected, because I planned my life carefully. My brother scoffed. "So now you think you're better than everyone?" "No, I just stopped volunteering to drown with them." "This isn't about being better," I said calmly. "It's about boundaries." My mom shook her head slowly. "You're being selfish." There it is. That word only appears when you stop giving people access to you. I leaned back in my chair. Because honestly, I wasn't even emotional anymore. I was clear. For years, I said, I've been the responsible one. I looked around the table. The one who fixes things. The one who sacrifices. The one who figures it out. I paused, and none of you ever asked what that cost me. No one spoke, because now, this wasn't about money anymore. It was about expectation. I'm not ruining my future, I said quietly, to protect someone from the consequences of theirs. That line hit hard, especially my brother. His face tightened immediately. You think you're so perfect, he muttered. I shook my head. No, I replied. I just learned from my mistakes instead of expecting everyone else to pay for them. Silence again, the kind that changes a room. I stood up slowly, picked up my jacket. My mom's voice softened. Please, she said. That almost got me. Almost. But then I remembered something important. No one at that table was offering to share the burden. They just wanted me to carry it. Again, I hope things work out, I said. And I meant it. But I wasn't becoming their solution anymore. Not this time. I walked toward the door. No one stopped me. Because deep down, they already knew I wasn't changing my mind. Funny thing is, they thought saying no would make me feel guilty. But all it really did was make me realize how long I'd been saying yes to things that were never mine to fix. And once you realize that, walking away gets a lot easier. So tell me, would you have paid the $30,000? Or done exactly what I did?